Yeah, it just didn't quite play out for him, but let's go ahead and see what happens here in game number 2, as we've got Saladin, the blue Protoss, at the left-hand corner of Sandshore and Mist. Once again, we're going to come back to one of our maps, and he's going to be on the left side of the map. His opponent will be coL.MVPTails. He is the orange Protoss, and once again, we have a mirror matchup, and this is a map that we've already seen before, so we'll keep the map introduction pretty brief here, Pain User, but once again, we have a lot of defenders advantage. This is a map that, for me, most closely reflects Shakuris Plateau in the way the natural and the main is designed with the ramps. So if we're ever going to see an expansion here, this is certainly the map to do it on.
Yeah. Quick expands on this map seem defensible for sure. You have the ramp to work with, at both ramps to work with, actually. You have the ramp to your main, and then you have the ramp to your natural as well. So definitely similar to Shakuris in that regard. The ramp at your natural seems pretty big on this map, though. Looks like it'll take about 2, maybe 3 force fields to cut that off. So
I think that would be pretty equatable to the one on Shakuris, though, don't you think?
It looks a little bigger to me, actually.
Does it?
That's a pretty hefty ramp. You're like zooming in, checking the different angles.
I'm trying to check it from the...
I know the one on Shakuris is 2 force fields to block. It's just 2. That one, I don't know if 2 force fields would fully block that.
I think it would. I don't know, man.
It'd be close.
We'll have to see.
It'd be close. And we might actually even see that in this PvP matchup, because I wouldn't be surprised if one of the battles took place either right there or at the ramp to the main.
One thing that's really interesting to note is this low ground location. We may see, if Saladin decides to go for that aggressive drop play, this is a great place to do it, as we call it the helipad launch location. We might see some of that happen.
It's definitely a possibility. And we did see Saladin utilize... Oh, I thought that was his pylon.
I thought Saladin was kind of good across the pylon.
We did see Saladin utilize the War Prism in Game 1.
Yeah.
So certainly a possibility here in Game 2 for him to use that once again. And on this map, as you said, it might even be more powerful due to the sneaky location right there, where he could warp in some units unbeknownst to Tails and maybe run them into the mineral line, kill some probes while he's pressuring the front or something like that.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if Saladin decides to go ahead and drop into that low ground location. Right now, he's just got a scouting probe inside the main, but he did go ahead and opt to steal one of the geysers by planting down his own very own assimilator. So we're going to have an orange-blue assimilator right side by side with each other. And by Saladin doing that, what it says to me is he wants to keep the gas intake of MVPTails low. So he may opt to tech up in advance of Tails, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting more gas, and gas is really the crucial resource you need if you're going to tech up in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, no doubt about it, especially in PvP. So stealing the gas definitely limits Tails' options here in the early game. But it's not such a hindrance that it's going to completely change his build order or anything like that. It's just really going to prevent him from doing something like a straight DT rush or like a straight Blink Stalker rush. It's just going to come a little bit more delayed, so he's going to have to focus just slightly more on gateway units for a longer portion of the game than Saladin will. Saladin's obviously going to have a few more tech routes, a few more tech options available to him because he got the double gas earlier.
And it's not so bad to focus on more early game units in the beginning. I mean, those additional units that you produce in the beginning are going to be handy in the big battle. And wow, Tails gearing up for an expansion here. Yes, he is. So he's going to throw down an exit to the front door after he killed off the scouting probe, or at least warded away the scouting probe. So right now, Saladin does not know about the Nexus going up. But this is the thing about Protoss versus Protoss, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, is expanding is very, very risky in this particular mirror matchup.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, we've seen players lose games just for attempting to expand in a situation where it's a little bit risky. And Tails gonna have that Nexus up way earlier than Saladin. Saladin obviously going for the robotics facility here. He's gonna get an observer out.
I don't even know if Saladin's gonna expand, man. I think he's just gonna play one base.
Same build.
Yeah, same exact build here. Blink Stalkers here off of 3 gate with the observer. Now, I think this is going to be really effective against his fast expand. There's just too much surface area for MVPTails to cover. And once again, he can utilize this location to Blink Stalkers into the main. And really, what is Tails going to do about that?
Yeah, and not to mention, Tails might not have Blink this time around. When Saladin gets to his side of the map, when Saladin gets to his base.
Exactly.
Tails may not have Blink researched in time to deal with this push from Saladin here.
Love this patrol micro on the Stalker. just to get a little more vision onto the middle of the battlefield. But you're right, the blink will not be there for MVPTails, whereas the blink technology will be here for Saladin. And blink is such a big spell for stalkers. It gives them more mobility. They can maneuver out of the battlefield or into the battlefield very quickly. Essentially, it's just a quick teleport spell for those stalkers. Now, there is an observer that's going to be on the field, so Tails may be able to snipe off the observer when it comes, and he really has to do that to prevent the stalkers from running into his main.
Now, Saladin, I think, might just go for the exact same build as a response to this. He's only going to have two options. He's either going to have to get... Oh, is that a 4th gate from Saladin?
That is 4 gates.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's not going to expand behind this. He's definitely going with pressure here. It's going to be a 4-gate aggression build, and here he comes into the main of Tails, so he's going to see exactly what's going on. He sees 3-gate Robo, he's going to see that natural, and he's going to be like, oh, no. Once again, I'm out macroed. He has an expansion up and running. I'm on 1 base. Look at the probe count already, 38 to 27.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's actually a bad thing for Saladin, because if you think about it, he's just going 1 base all aggression. So by seeing this Nexus, it's almost like, yes, he's not going to have anything. I can blink right into his vein and do a lot of damage. And the other thing that hurts here is MVPTails moved out with his observer in the middle of the field, so now Tails has no way of sniping off the enemy obs. And Saladin now could just blink right into the main man. He could do a lot of damage. But you're right. I mean, that is pretty bad for a Nexus to be up at this point.
It's really bad for him. And
he's got to kill off everything.
Yeah, and look at the unit counts, right? I mean, 1 sentry to 2, 9 stalkers to 9 stalkers, but plus 2 immortals and 6 zealots for Tails. If I had to call it right now, I'd say that Tails has already won the game, to be honest. There's really not that much Saladin can do from here to win this, unless he blocks the ramp here with his stalkers and takes out pretty much the entire main, and it looks like that's what he's going to try and do, dropping these 2 sentries, and there is no blink from Tails, so Tails is going to have to hold this off without blink.
And I don't think he can hold it off. He's got to go for the counterattack here. Really, he can't run up the ramp because of the force field. The Immortal gets picked off as soon as it comes out of the robotics facility. The probes have been pulled off the line as well. Saladin's doing a lot of damage in the main right now, and once again keeping that force field on the ramp, and that forces Tails to go for the counterattack.
So intelligent. Tails really only has one option here. He's got to go for the counterattack, but Saladin's warping in sentries back at his main, so he's going to be able to block the ramp. He needs to be careful here. He cannot let any of these units up, and he's actually letting them get vision of the high ground, which is not good for him at all. He needs to focus 100% on stopping this counterattack. He cannot lose that zealot. He can't lose any units here.
Yeah, he's got to make another sentry too. He needs 4 sentries at least for perma force field. And it looks like he has 4 force fields now, 4 sentries now, so he can work in force fields all the time. And it looks like he's going to kill out the natural with his stalkers as well. This is such a crazy game.
Oh, this is brutal for Tails, because Tails
can't get up the ramp.
Had a much larger army than Saladin, and Saladin might end up winning the game here. Just due to the fact that he has continued mining this entire time. He's chain force fielding his ramp, and this is just a sheer win through strategy on Saladin's part. Tails had him out macroed. Tails had him beat 100%. He was just out of position, and he fell victim to the exact same thing that he fell victim to in Game 1.
He missed his force field, though. It's very important that you get your force fields on the ramp perfectly. Now, MVPTails all of a sudden can get up the ramp.
This is really bad for Saladin. He's going to lose all of his units here. He's going to be forced to bring his entire army back, and I think that is actually game. Tails more than likely going to win from here. Saladin's base is just going to get obliterated, and I think that Tails still has the larger army. He has the 2 immortals. He doesn't have blink, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have blink. And you know what else he doesn't have? He doesn't have the amount of probes that Saladin's got.
But he does have a Nexus that he can mine off of.
Yeah, it's true.
2 seconds.
But I'm thinking right now, if Saladin were to attack with his probes in conjunction with his army, he could actually probably take out the Stalker's immortal army. It's close, don't get me wrong, but this is getting down to the wire right now.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I don't know who's going to win this game, man. This is really, really close.
I don't either, but did Saladin manage to sneak a probe out? That's what's important here.
Yeah, I don't... Well,
he did, okay.
He sneaked all of his probes out.
So he's got a lot of his probes out. He can make a Nexus here. He's going to load them and go to the island, it looks like.
I like that decision a lot.
Oh, wow. So both players going to relocate their main bases.
to
Saladin taking the island and Tails taking the mainland. I think Tails is going to come out way ahead, though, because he's already mining. And he's going to bring his units back and play defensive.
But the thing is, Saladin has more probes, and oh my god, he's building a nexus. He's going to have 2 nexuses. He has enough minerals to build 2 nexi. And, I mean, while Tails may be mining right now, essentially it's 1 base to 2 base. This is unbelievable.
Crazy.
This is unbelievable.
This is crazy. I've no, like...
What is this? This is Sandshorn Mists!
So, I guess Saladin gonna double Nexus here as a response to this. Is he gonna be able to catch up, though? That's the real question. Tails is gonna be mining this entire time. He's not supply blocked anymore. He has gateways up, so... You know, his infrastructure is already up and running. I think he's just way ahead right now. Saladin gonna have to find a way to get in there and do some damage.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. Both players have completely relocated their bases right now.
I know.
They're both playing a defensive style, gonna try and stay alive here. Can they do it, though?
And we have Tails right now trying to get a Twilight Council up, so he wants to get Blink. He knows he's only behind and he can't be mobile because he doesn't have Blink, so he's trying to rush that upgrade right now, which makes a lot of sense to me. And right now we have Saladin, the more mobile player, trying to keep MVPTails contained for now, just kind of mobilizing around the map, finding whatever he can do, but he has left his Nexus exposed at the moment. And wow. That Warp Prism still kind of going around the back of the mineral field as well. That Nexus about to warp in at the same time. Saladin, don't forget, guys, he has 2 bases. MVPTails only has 1, but MVPTails right now is about to get Blink. This is one of the craziest games I have ever seen.
Yeah, this is insanity. And is he gonna... Oh, he's utilizing the Blink Stalkers on the high ground here. Gonna drop in the back of the main with some sentries. Gonna force field those probes. No, he doesn't get the second force field down. Good thought right there by Saladin. Nice try, but unable to make that really work out.
This is such smart positioning from Saladin.
Yeah, he's not allowing Tails really to mine at all.
Saladin is a very intelligent player.
Yeah, he is. He really understands how to use force fields and Blink Stalkers to the best of their ability.
This is insane. He is now camping the...
at least 2 mineral patches.
Yeah.
Oh, and Blink's 4 Stalkers in the back there.
Wow. And at this point, I think Tails has to push out. He doesn't have any unit to spot the high ground, though, because he doesn't have an observer. So he can't see that high ground location. And essentially, it looks like he's going to abandon base here. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got to figure something out. He's got to get a robotics facility up. And at the moment in time, he is actually falling way behind as he's distance mining the middle of the field and returning it to the Nexus.
Is he going after Saladin's Nexus on the right-hand side? If he does this, he's going to trade, and Saladin's still going to have the island. So he's leaving his main base wide open here. Saladin is going to be able to kill his Nexus. He doesn't have enough to build a new Nexus. So he's basically trying to force a base trade here, but little does he know, Saladin actually has the island.
Yeah.
And that's where he's focusing the majority of his production. He's getting his cybernetic score back up.
This is just a decoy.
Yep.
That is brilliant.
Brilliant. Saladin is a very, very intelligent player. It looks like he's going to get the Nexus here as well. That will definitely go down, and we have a base race situation on our hands here where Saladin actually has the island. So if you look at the resources, there is no way for MVPTails to win this match. It is over.
Yeah.
Saladin has won through sheer decision-making and strategy.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive. And Tails is going to have to go back and defend, and he's going to have to play on the defensive from here on out. He doesn't have a Warp Prism, he doesn't have a Robo, and he doesn't have the resources to make a Warp Prism or a Robo. So
he has no way.
Over.
He has exactly. He has no way to get to this island location, and the more that Saladin mines, the further ahead he gets. There's no. Theoretically, in fact, mathematically, it is impossible for Tails to win this game now.
Unless Saladin just does something beyond stupid.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way. Possible, even if Saladin were to AFK,
he could just wait a couple hours and come back.
He can't lose this game. It is impossible because Tails cannot make another Nexus. He
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with Tails giving up his position there.
Well, from Tails' point of view, he thought this was the only base,
and he thought he had the bigger army.
So he thought he could afford to trade.
Yeah,
but he didn't know. He just didn't know about this. And the observer. The pro can't cross the bridge.
He can't see it. Little does he know that the top left-hand corner is being mined out slowly by Mr. Saladin here.
Yeah.
And he's just going to continue to warp in units there in the top left-hand corner, and eventually, once his army's big enough...
He can make a Stargate, he can use a Warp Prism to ferry off.
Is he going to go DT?
I don't think he needs to do anything.
I think he's going to go DT.
It really doesn't matter. At this point, I think Tails, he has... The enemy Protoss hasn't been revealed yet, so he's just looking around the map for where the Nexus is, because he knows there has to be a Nexus on the map because Saladin hasn't been revealed yet. And he's checked all the ground locations, and eventually he's going to come to the realization that, well, Saladin expanded to the island, and there's nothing he can do about that. He does have Blink, though. I wonder if he can Blink from here to there.
There might be a way. There might be a way. It just depends on how far up the bridge they can walk. That's actually a really good question. Can you Blink to the island from the corner? You may need an observer or something to spot the opposite side in order to see over.
I have no idea if you can... Oh, man. If he can cross that bridge with a Blink, he can get back in this game. In fact, he has to do it before the Dark Shrine comes up. Once the Dark Shrine comes up, he will have no way of destroying this base because, well, Dark Templar are invisible and he has no observers. At least none that I can see.
Yeah.
This is getting pretty crucial, man.
So we may have spoken too early when we said it was mathematically impossible, because we don't know if you can Blink across the island or not. That's actually something that's very map specific.
Yeah.
And if he can Blink across the island, then, you know, he's definitely still in this. If he can't, then it's game over. It's game, set, match.
Well, I will say this. Once that Dark Shrine finishes, it is going to be...
100% game.
Yeah, 100% game. So Tails is really running out of time right now.
Right now, it's 99.999% game.
And yeah. You have base? Yes.
Tails is like,
GG.
Oh. He knew he had the island.
Yeah.
Because he checked every other base.
Yeah.